At Inclusive Tech Group, we are committed to promoting inclusion for persons with disabilities through best technology practices, and we believe science, technology, engineering, and mathematics (STEM) education is bedrock for today's internet-driven and digital world. STEM education for persons with disabilities is important to ensure that these individuals have access to high-quality education, equal career opportunities, and generally to prepare them for today's workforce. Yet, STEM education remains inaccessible and with limited options for persons with disability, especially the blind in Ghana. With the S.T.E.M Beyond Sight project, we seek to research on access to STEM education, identify challenges relating to STEM education for the blind, and examine best practices and technologies that can support the teaching and learning of STEM for the blind in Ghana. The access to STEM education is critical to achieve sustainable goals. Number 4, quality education. Goal 8, decent work and economic growth.
I'm talking Aja Osei the seven, Paramount Chief of Akoi Petrol, who west of the Volta region. And Confidence Kakri is my niece. She was attending a secondary school when the incident happened. First, in fact, we didn't know. So she wasn't having treatment, medications. So before we got to know, it was late. And then the course he was doing, reading was accounting. But due to the sight, she couldn't make it. So we've been looking for support for her. But we couldn't. But fortunately, we had someone who introduced him, Brother Richard, who introduced him to the group, to this group. So we are just happy that they've come in to support her. And I also be pleased if they will support other disabled as they are doing in other regions. And then it is the aim of Confidence to reach the tallest education. So I'm appealing if they will continue to assist her to go to university and then to any other place that will enable her to pursue her education. Thank you.
Richard Bode is my name and news reporter from H1 TV. I got in touch with Confidence after Princess recommended her to me concerning her condition. So I decided to speak to several organizations, talking to them about Confidence issue and how she needed help to go back to class. I asked Princess about Confidence educational background and she told me that she completed the Ola girls, but due to her condition, she has to go back to classroom to offer a reading core subjects. Due to that reason, I spoke to several organizations and now returned to my call. So I decided to speak to Dr. Millicent, the president and CEO of the Inclusive Tech Group. She understood my concepts and also wanted to speak to Confidence and know how to go about her support. Glory be to God. Today, Confidence is going to be given few things to support and enhance her learning ability so that she can be able to cope with her subjects. Take time with us as Confidence narrates her issue through the public.
My name is Confidence. I'm a past student of Mawuli Senior High School. I became visually impaired after writing my WASI examination. Actually, this condition started when I was 15 years of age, but due to financial problems, I couldn't seek medical attention regularly. So I couldn't find it easy during my final year examination. So as a result of that, I had to stay home after the papers. And I wasn't having any hope any longer because I was wondering how a person with vision impairment could make it in life and how the person could further his or her education, let alone having a profession to earn a living. But God being so good, I've gone through a braille training and then how to use a computer. So now I'm in Mawuli Senior High School offering a reading subject simply because when I was in Ola Senior High School, I offered a business course, and then the business course, when I wrote the final year exam, I couldn't perform well in some of my papers. But because of my challenge, I can't write either NOBDEC or any other examination regarding
Disabled persons, they thought they cannot make it in life. And some also think if they go to school, they'll be mocking about them. So they wouldn't. So I will encourage them to go to the classroom. And then those who can learn trade so that they don't depend on any other person. Some of them are just going around to beg. So if the group can help them so that they will be self-sufficient, I think it will be very loud door.
with the help of Dr. Millicent Agangiba through the Inclusive Tech Group, I have been enrolled at Mawuli. She helped me to buy my things and go back to school. That's Mawuli. She assisted me to get a computer which will make my learning easier as well. I'm urging the group that it's a good work they are doing. They should help persons with disabilities, especially persons with vision impairment, to be accessible to education in all aspects and not to be limited in a way that they will be diverted to their dreams.
My name is Princess Mensa Ama, and I'm currently in the University of Ghana, Legon, level 300. So I'm here to talk about how I came into contact with Confidence. So I was there when a friend called and was like, she has a friend who has become blind eventually. They completed the same SHS and she is just hopeless and that. So she wants to find out how I was able to get to Legon so that she can help her friend. So I took the contact right away and called Confidence. So after a few discussions, I realized she has a future, but now how to go about it is the challenge. And she has no idea whether she can continue on with education or something like that. So I came to encourage her and told her it's possible and it's never late, though she did business as she has said already and she can't do the same. But there is still another opportunity for her. So the problem was how to get her back into school and how to make her learn the braille and in addition with the computer. And financial constraints was our biggest challenge. So thereon we had a program organized at the Kofi Annan Training Center with Inclusive Tech Group and then Disability Inclusive Hackathon. Fortunately for me, I came to friends with Richard, that's another young journalist who happens to be at the program we had at the Kofi Annan Training Center for the persons with disability. So I explained the ordeal about Confidence to him, and I told him how passionate I would love if through the media solicit or advocate for any volunteer who can help us get Confidence back into the senior high system. So he promised to work on it. Thankfully enough, he came back with a good news that he has been able to speak with one executive of the Inclusive Tech Group, and she is touched by the story and she's willing to support in collaboration with Inclusive Tech Group. And as I stand here now, I am so much overwhelmed with joy. It really gladdens my heart. I least expected this dream I had for her would one day become a reality. And I'm grateful to Richard that when I told him, he didn't relax on it. And I'm so much grateful, my deepest appreciation to Dr. Millicent. And all I wish for you is the best, the strength to continue to do great jobs or great things like this in people like us, our life. And to those of you out there, it's not bad to ask for help. In fact, people who are strong are those who seek for help. When you see you have the strength but you need a little push to make it, don't hesitate, come out of the shyness.
I believe that the project S.T.E.M Beyond Sight by the Inclusive Tech Group is a laudable one to make STEM education accessible to the blind so that we can all achieve our goals and aspirations. Thank you, Inclusive Tech Group.
My name is Dr. Mrs. Millicent Agangiba, the Executive Director of Inclusive Tech Group. At Inclusive Tech Group, we aim to bridge the digital gap for persons with disabilities. We want to equip them, build their capacities, and more importantly also to promote STEM among persons with disabilities. Personally, when the issue of confidence came to my notice, I found that this issue is very much situated in a research that we are working on, and then we want to end up proposing some best practices that we can adopt, learning from other countries and other partners how we can make science and STEM, for that matter, education accessible to the blind. And so we are happy to be on board to support Confidence achieve her dreams. But one thing we've realized is that persons with visual impairment or the blind, many a time they are denied access to do anything that is related to science, and therefore they are cut out from the STEM fields. And we know that STEM has great opportunities for everyone. We know how it makes us become critical thinkers, and we are able to solve the problems of our time. And so when people are in such condition, and by virtue of the fact that they have this disability, they are not able to access science or STEM education, it looks like we're trying to divert their dreams. And so with our project STEM Beyond Sight, what we intend to do is to demystify the teaching and learning of science for the visually impaired or persons who are blind. So we intend to research, understand the challenges from the perspective of the blind as well as the teachers who are teaching those students, and then to come out with the best practices that we have observed from elsewhere, how possible it is for persons with visual impairment to have access to STEM education. And then we can pilot, do train the trainer program, equip these teachers, and we'll see how best they can teach this science. Over time, I'm sure we will come to embrace the fact that when somebody is blind, does not mean that the person should be cut off their dreams and their aspiration, especially of being in the STEM space. And so this is what Inclusive Tech Group we are embarking on, and this is what we are working on. Our interest currently, how to make STEM education accessible to a blind community. The project's name is STEM Beyond Sight. So we're looking forward to partners, we're looking forward to collaborators who will come on board so that together we can make science and STEM education accessible for persons with visual impairment.